Okay, this lesson is on ELR 1.8. This is the last one for chapter 1. Here we'll be doing basic shapes of perimeter and area and circumference. Alright, so I would have you make a box and put in all the formulas for perimeter and area of these are the 4 shapes that we'll be doing: square, rectangle, triangle, and circle. I'm assuming everybody knows what perimeter and area means, but let's quickly review. Perimeter is distance around an object, and area is how many square units are inside an object. And when we do area, we always want its units squared. Okay, here is the page from the textbook with all of them written out for you. So I definitely suggest to put that in your chart, in your notebook, for the square, triangle, rectangle, and circle. Okay, once you have all those formulas down, let's do a couple of examples. Here we have, they're designing a rectangular garden. They plan to place edging on the outside of the path. So that's around here. How much edging material would they need? Since it's on the outside, we're talking about perimeter. All right, so let's figure out what this whole length is here. If you notice, it's 4 feet going all around. So if I wanted to find this whole length plus the 16, I get it to be 24 feet. I'm going to do the same thing from top to bottom. 4 plus 22 plus 4. That's 30 feet. I add them all up, and I'll get how much edging material we need. 108 feet are needed. All right, here's some questions on circles, real basic ones. We're going to get more into circles later on in the year. We're asking for the circumference and the area. It all depends on the question. Sometimes it asks you to leave the answer in terms of pi, so don't put pi in the calculator. And then sometimes they want you to round it. So let's do the first one. We're given the diameter. So when it's located right in the middle there of the circle, that's definitely the diameter. So I'm going to do pi times d. So that's 15 pi inches is the circumference. If I plug that in the calculator and round it to the 10th place, I get it to be about 47.1 inches. Okay, this is definitely the radius because it's half of the diameter. Let's plug it in the area formula. Pi times r squared. Plug in the 4. 4 squared is 16 pi centimeters squared. In terms of pi to the nearest tenth, I do 16 times pi in the calculator. I get it to be 50.3 centimeters squared. All right, the last type of question you could get is for an irregular shape. So you basically have to figure out how you want to make it into 2 shapes that you know of. So I see I can make this into a rectangle, shape number 1, and a triangle, shape number 2. All right, so shape number 1 is a rectangle, so it's base times height, 12 times 4, so I have 48 feet squared. Number 2, the triangle. Well, if you see the tick marks here in red, we know that these are all 4 feet because it's labeled here as 4 feet, so the base is 4. The height we have to figure out, so if I subtract 12 minus the 4, I'll get this piece, which is 8 feet. Plug it in the formula, divide in half, and I add those 2 shapes together to get 64 feet squared is the area of that irregular shape. All right, let's do one more. See if you can figure out how to, separate that into different shapes. I made mine into 3 rectangles, 1, 2, and 3. I figured out the base and the height of each, multiplied them, and then added them all up to get 54 centimeters squared.